Welcome to episode 75 of the Pulse of Physiology. I'm your host, Dr. Jim Davis, and today we're focusing on the physiology of digestion, specifically how macromolecules are broken down into absorbable units through enzymatic processes. We'll explore where digestion occurs, which enzymes are involved, what organs produce them, and how substances like hydrochloric acid and bile contribute to the process. We'll also touch on the role of the gut microbiome. So let's get started. The digestion of carbohydrates, proteins, and fats occurs through the action of enzymes, which are produced by salivary glands, stomach, the pancreas, and the small intestine. So let's talk about carbohydrates first. Digestion begins in the mouth with something called salivary amylase. Salivary amylase is an enzyme that breaks polysaccharides into disaccharides. Okay, so we're taking big sugar molecules and breaking them into smaller sugar molecules. In the small intestine, pancreatic amylase continues this process. There is also what we call brush border enzymes, such as maltase, sucrase, and lactase, which finish the job and ultimately produce monosaccharides, such as glucose. Next, we have proteins. Digestion of proteins doesn't really begin until they make it to the stomach, and this occurs with an enzyme called pepsin. And pepsin is an enzyme that's activated by hydrochloric acid. Now, digestion of proteins continues in the small intestine, where pancreatic enzymes, specifically trypsin, chymotrypsin, and carboxypeptidase, break proteins into smaller peptides. And finally, we've got brush border enzymes, which are peptidases, which complete digestion into amino acids. Remember, proteins are just made up of a whole bunch of amino acids, so we need to break those proteins back into their individual amino acids, which we can absorb. Finally, there's fat. Digestion of fats requires emulsification. Now, this emulsification occurs in the small intestine, and it occurs with the help of bile salts, which come from the liver but are stored in the gallbladder. What also helps with the digestion of fats is pancreatic lipase. And so this breaks down triglycerides, so 3 fatty acids, into monoglycerides. Okay, so we have a single glycerol molecule as well as their fatty acids. Now, as we mentioned a moment ago, there's hydrochloric acid. This is secreted by parietal cells in the stomach, and hydrochloric acid functions to activate pepsinogen into pepsin, as well as denaturing proteins, so changing their structure. And this hydrochloric acid also kills ingested microbes. Hydrochloric acid release is regulated by gastrin and histamine, which both cause its release, but it's also regulated by somatostatin, which inhibits the release of hydrochloric acid. As we've discussed previously, fats are hydrophobic, so they clump together. Bile salts, which we just mentioned, break large fat droplets into small fat droplets. This is emulsification. And so what this does is this increases the surface area so that lipases can do their job. Emulsification is essential for efficient fat digestion and absorption. And so briefly, I want to talk about the microbiome, or the gut microbiome, and how this works with digestion. The gut microbiome helps digest fiber and ultimately produces vitamins such as vitamin K and the B vitamins. Bacterial fermentation produces short-chain fatty acids that help support colon health. And the microbiome plays a critical role in immune function and nutrient absorption. So it's important to know that we need some bacteria in our digestive system. Not too many, not too little, but just right. That Goldilocks effect. So to summarize, carbohydrates are digested by amylase and brush border enzymes. Proteins are digested by pepsin and pancreatic intestinal enzymes. And fats require bile for emulsification and pancreatic lipase for digestion. Hydrochloric acid activates enzymes and provides antimicrobial protection, and the microbiome supports digestion and overall health. And so that's it for episode 75 of the Pulse of Physiology. Come back next time for episode 76, where we'll examine the hormonal and neural control or regulation of digestion. Until then, keep questioning, keep exploring, and stay curious.